everyone. Welcome to the first podcast that I will be hosting. You can see behind me, we are coming to you live from Mount West Community and Technical College, which just got this new podcast room almost set up. There's a little bugs and stuff that they've got to fix, but essentially it's pretty much ready to go. So essentially what we're going to be doing is talking about some disc golf. More importantly for this one, we're going to be talking about the 2026 schedule. Because, I find it quite interesting. I went to a couple of the major tournaments, this year technically. And I'm going to go to a couple more this coming year. I haven't been playing disc golf for very long, but it's been fun. I'm slowly getting better. I'm not good by any means, but, I'm getting better at it. So, it looks like the first one is actually going to begin, right at the beginning of the year, which is going to be in Charlotte, and it's the Roar Open. That one, I wish I could go to. I might go to it just because I don't have work or anything that day, so it might be fun to go to. And it's close by, I'm from the West Virginia area, and I do like to travel, so traveling to watch a disc golf tournament is not out of the question for me. So it's nothing that I'm super concerned about. But that is a pro amateur tournament, which is not necessarily bad. The ones I really want to go to is I want to go to Idlewild. I missed it this year. I did go to Winthrop. If you didn't go to Winthrop, I recommend going and playing. Actually, not necessarily in the tournament, just playing the course, because the course is so well maintained. It's a beautiful course. I was actually kind of disappointed though by the merchant area. Walking through, everybody's so happy, all these merchants and stuff there. But when you look past, the size of the merchant area, I don't think most people realized, or maybe they did realize, and I'm just being naive about it, but it's all the same few companies, like Innova, all the big ones were there. There was one company there that had 3 booths set up, all selling the same stuff. Now, besides that, I know that the die discs have become real popular, but I mean, come on. They don't need to be everywhere. They're pretty and they're unique and they're interesting, but for the love of God, you don't have to have 1,000 die disc booths. The only one that was remotely interesting was the guy that was doing it there. And if you bought a disc, you could pick out the colors and stuff that it was dyed, and you could help him actually dye it for you. That was really cool. I liked seeing that. It let the audience be kind of involved in the process, instead of just being like, hey, here's a disc that I dyed. Do you want to buy it? It was more of a, hey, I'm going to dye a disc. Help me with it. And I think that provides a little bit of a unique take on it, really. Other than that, I was kind of disappointed at the variety of merchants. Again, it's just me, but I personally use Elevation discs. They're my favorite. They're the only ones I bag. If you don't know what they are a floppy disc. They're not solid, hard plastic. And actually what they are is they're made out of rubber. More specifically, recycled plastic gloves, which aren't really plastic, they're rubber, or rubber gloves, really. I said it wrong. Pardon me. But they are fun to throw once you get used to them. And I think that's the biggest hang-up that I've met people around here that have, I couldn't imagine throwing that. I'm like, well, have you tried? Because they're really not that hard to get the hang of. There's nothing really involved in it. You just throw it like a normal disc, and it does what it's supposed to do. So that's kind of the benefit of it. And if you know, I play in the woods a lot. West Virginia. We got some hills, nothing major, but a little bit. So if I have to throw a downhill shot and stuff, I want something that's going to kind of stick to the ground. And Elevation's really good at that. That is kind of like their whole pitch is they reduce ground play, and they do. If you throw the right one, it hits the ground and it just falls over. There's no rolling involved, which is fantastic, and I love it. I wish I would have seen an Elevation booth there selling. So, if for some reason Elevation Discs does decide to watch this podcast, you should hit me up, because during the summer and for a lot of these tournaments that I'm looking at here on my computer, I'm available to run a booth. I'll go, I'll hang out, I'll sell your discs. I will talk about them, or, I would love a jersey, just saying. But back to the other ones. So the Charlotte Roar, that one's kind of interesting. It's in the middle of January, and I kind of want to see how the pros play in the winter, like in the dead cold and stuff. Me personally, I don't like watching the lead card. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with watching the lead card. The pros do all this fantastic stuff and all this, but for me, I like watching them, the people that are more like me, the people out there. They made a bad shot, so what are they going to do? If you go watch the lead card, it's just birdie after birdie after birdie and perfect shot after perfect shot after perfect shot. And I'm sorry, it gets old. Like, I went and played a tournament recently in, where was it? Lexington. It was at Chile. And if you've never been to Lexington, if you go play Chile, it's a great course. It's well laid out. It's a nice shot variety. Definitely worth the play. But I'm an MA4. I'm a true MA4. I am still developing. I've only been playing a year, so I am still learning. I'm still learning to throw, getting distance. When I first started, I was throwing 200 yards. Now I'm throwing closer to 300, and it'll get better. But what was I going to say? Oh, watching the MPOs play, looking at their score. When the MA3s, the MA4s, the age protecteds, they're all shooting +2 to +15 around, and you have the MPOs out there that are shooting -14. I don't find it interesting. That means that they're throwing perfect shot after perfect shot after perfect shot, which is not what the average player is doing. I don't want to watch what the MPO is doing and be like, oh, I can be that one day. I can't. I know that. I'm not living in a fantasy. I want to watch what the good MA4 or the MA3s are doing, because I could potentially get there one day. I can learn from them. I can learn what they're doing and kind of get to that level. I will never be an MPO. I know that. But that's neither here nor there. But that's why, I don't like watching the lead card. I went and watched Winthrop, and I watched, I don't know what card it was. It was probably an hour and a half before the lead card ever made it to hole one. But it was great. I watched one on, I can't remember what hole it was on. I think it was like hole 5 or something maybe. It is a long par 5 where you can either go around the lake or you can attempt to go over it. And I watched one of the players miss the inbounds twice. And you could tell he was visibly frustrated. And I'm like, I can relate to that. I've been there. Not in that specific course, but out of bounds. And I'm like, what's he going to do now? If I'm in that situation, this is a professional. If what he does is something I can do, I can mimic that. How does he get out of that situation? And I think that's kind of a good learning experience when you look at when you go to tournaments and stuff. Don't get me wrong, professionals are great to watch, like the lead cards and stuff, but I'd rather watch somebody have to figure stuff out than just know that every time they throw it, it's going to go exactly where they want it. It's just me, of course. But other than that, Winthrop, there wasn't really a whole lot going on when I was there. There was the tournament, there was the shops, and then they had like I think four, maybe five food trucks. Like it wasn't a huge selection. Um, maybe six. There was a pizza one there, like a brick oven pizza joint, which was nice. But the line was like 50 people deep. So I'm not waiting in a line like that. It's not beneficial. There's just no reason to do it. Um, now so besides like going back to the tournaments, at least I get off topic sometimes. It's all right. The tournaments, I'm looking here. You got the Roar Open, and I didn't know they started that early. Where I'm at, tournaments are kind of dead right now until like the middle of February before they really pick back up. I'm gonna go to one this Saturday up in Columbus called the Christmas Cup. It's gonna be very cold. Last time I checked the weather, it was supposed to snow, so we will see. I'm gonna play awful because I suck at disc golf, but it's just gonna be cold. So, besides that, let's see what other tournaments we got. This looks like in the middle of May we have the LMS Amateur at Idlewild, and that's close to me. Burlington's not that far from where I'm at, so I will definitely go to that one. And then it looks like towards the end of September, the DGPT has their Open at Idlewild, which is just going to be, if you don't know, it's just going to be the MPOs and the FPOs, which is fine. But that looks like all for Idlewild. Now, Winthrop, if I can find it, where was it at? It was in Charlotte. I just don't remember the name of it. The Queen City Classic in the middle of March. That one will be a good one to go to if you're in the Charlotte area. That is another one that's just, the elites playing. But they do have an amateur and an age-based during the same time. So it'll be kind of two separate tournaments. So it'll be the DGPT Queen City Classic and then the Queen City Classic by itself. Now, I met a guy the last tournament I played I think he said he did the amateur one at Idlewild, and he ended up getting like a disc golf cart from Zuka as part of the players pack and like a pair of shoes and stuff like that. That's kind of cool. Like I wouldn't do very good at the tournaments and stuff, but some of these players packs, I could be like, I wouldn't mind doing stuff like this. So it would be kind of interesting. Now the Queen City Classic, where is it at? I gotta find it. It looks like there's at least on PDGA. It looks like it's in Charlotte, but I'll have to look for it. I'm not going through all that right now. Now the other one, I didn't see Winthrop on there, but when was Winthrop? There's a long list. Tournament that I recommend you go is the 12th annual Kanawha Valley Regional. The reason I say go to that, let me talk about it for example, for a second. Sorry, I misspoke again. So the Kanawha Valley Regional Tournament is in Charleston, West Virginia, right? And it is a phenomenal set of courses. I'm pulling it up on my computer now. I don't want to give you any wrong information. I probably can't spell Kanawha because it's kind of a weird word. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. Hang on. I'll just have to search for it this way. So this is the 12th annual Kanawha Valley Classic. This is something that's or Kanawha Valley Regional, sorry. I don't know why I said classic. I guess I got hung up on that word classic. It's the 12th annual Kanawha Valley Regional. And again, it's in Charleston. and it looks like it's going to be at Coonskin Park for that one, for the pros at least. And that's July 17th to the 19th. Now, for the amateurs, which is the important one, it is June 6th to June 7th, which I will miss again because I am going on a cruise. So, yay me, I don't get to partake in it. But if you're watching this, you should definitely go. You're going to play 3 courses. You're going to play Redeemer Park, which is on the side of a hill, but it's fun. You're going to play Little Creek Park and South Charleston, which is mostly wooded. You'll love it or you'll hate it. And then you're going to play Coonskin, which is open. It's on an old golf course, and it's going to be one of those where you love it or hate it. But the guy that sponsors this has a disc golf shop right at the base of Redeemer, which is attached to Redeemer Church up in South Charleston. So this is a 2-day, it's a 3-round, and it is PDGA sanctioned. It's an A tier, and the players pack is phenomenal. Like, you should do it just for the players pack. The pack includes 4 discs. Basically, you're going to choose 2 of those from his store. You're going to go to his store. You're going to choose 2 discs. He has like 20,000 discs in stock, and he has all of the brands. Me personally, I would go there just to get 2 elevation discs because, that's my brand. That's the brand I love. Then you get to choose 1 from Discmania and 1 disc from just kind of assorted brands and molds. You also get a T-shirt, and you get free lunch on Saturday. So, like, the players pack is phenomenal, and especially considering it's only $60 to enter. Like, you can't beat that. 4 discs, lunch, and a T-shirt for $65. You get to play 3 courses and potentially win some money or win some merch. It's phenomenal. But it's sponsored through Disc Golf Sports Center LLC, I think is the name of it. Shout out to them. He's a great guy, and his disc golf shop's phenomenal. But yeah, I saw it on the PDGA list, so I thought I would bring it up. And then I was looking for Winthrop to see when it is, but I'm not finding it on here. I'm probably overlooking it, to be quite honest. But actually, let me search for it this way. It looks like there's going to be 11 PDGA majors, 1 in Europe. There's going to be 18 DGPT Elite Series, and there's going to be 3 of those in Europe. And then a whole mix of other stuff. You can go to the PDGA website if you want to look at more of it. I was just looking for 1 specific. There's the Queen City, the Jonesboro, Kansas City. These are all the DGPT. If you hear me, that's what I'm looking at. There's 1 in Waco, Texas, Austin, Texas, Stockton, California, Shelton, Washington, Portland, Sweden, Finland, Kansas. There's Idlewild. Come on, where's it at? There's 1 in Lynchburg, which I wanted to go to this year, which was the DGPT Championship. They also have an amateur challenge that had a phenomenal players pack too. It was $100 to enter though, and I think you got like a couple discs and a pair of shoes. I'm like, well, if I had time, I would have went to that. Yeah, I don't see Winthrop on there, but I'm probably just overlooking it. But that's really what this podcast is going to be about. I know this first one is probably going to be the worst podcast I do. Probably not, actually. But I am a college professor here at the school, and I kind of have some free time right now. We have the podcast room, so I thought I would use it. I should say, my views are in no way the views of Mount West Community and Technical College, just as a disclaimer. But Yeah. So I'm hoping people will kind of look at the podcast, watch it and stuff, and maybe hop online and talk to me. And if you're in the area, you come in. I know you may not be able to see it. Let me see if I can. But we have. We have camera two. We have camera three. We have all kinds of cameras that we can use for the podcast, and then we can switch through all of those as well, so that we can kind of, we can fit 4 or 5 people in here if we wanted to. So it's a very good use of the space, considering it's just probably a little, maybe 8 by 8 room, something like that. So I think it will enhance the school. And something I'm kind of looking forward to is doing this podcast. Hopefully, I can get some people online because right now I'm live. I got to figure out the latency part of it so I can actually have talk back and forth and stuff. But if you do watch it, let me know. I'm kind of curious what you think the biggest holdup is with making disc golf more popular. I know it's on the rise. I recently found it. I know it's been around for years, but still. I'm from an area where there's all kinds of courses. So it kind of is nice for me in this area. But I like to travel. So I travel a lot. Like I said, next weekend, I'm driving almost 3.5 hours to play a tournament that I'm inevitably going to suck at. I'm probably going to become very, very bottom on the MA4 list. But I have fun while I do it, which is the point. Now, last week I told you that I did do a tournament in Lexington at Shilley, and I placed 10th out of 16 in the MA4s. It was just they everybody played. I mean, it's just nothing I can do about it. The ratings were awful for it. So I played 10th, placed 10th out of 16. I think the rating was like, between both rounds, was like a 765. And again, that had a lot to do with the MPOs hitting 14 under. 14 under rated at almost 1,000 rated round. It may have been right over it even, but it was right there at the 1,000 rated round. So everything was based off of that 14 under, which completely skews everything else, especially when the MPOs and all the other divisions are playing the exact same course. It really, really hurts the ratings. But there's nothing I can do about it, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that's where we're going to end today's podcast at. It's been fun. I'm probably going to do another one next week. We'll see about sometime next week, or if I get a wild hair at my butt and I just want to come and talk about some disc golf stuff, I'll do another one. I don't know. But, if you do watch it, make sure and hit like and subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see everybody again and talk to you and stuff. So I will leave it at that. And now I'm going to play some awesome outro music.